All right. Ready?
No. Okay, let's do this.
Or you go first.
No!
All right, everyone, welcome back. Just for those of you that missed part one and they're just jumping in at part two, we're unmasking the day. So 60 plus episodes in, I think. We're masked the entire time. Now it's time for them to come off and just, fully be who we are. Also, I mean, you're going to see how ugly we are too, right? So prepare yourselves for that because that's the part you didn't see coming.
Right.
You're like disappointed. You're like, ew, turn this off.
You're like, oh my gosh, is that Willem Dafoe?
Exactly. So are you ready? I wish there's a way to unheight too, because some of y'all girls, when you meet me, think that I'm way shorter than I am.
He's like, can we do this?
They're like, I thought you were like 5'8".
Tell him how tall you are, Brian.
He said, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Tell him.
You know I'm not gonna do it.
6'2"?
You know I'm not gonna do this. And like, it's so funny. Like, you don't know this. People, my wife's like right off screen right now. But there's a friend of ours who kept asking me, like, every time I met her, we would run into her. She'd be like, "What are you, like 5'10"?" And then eventually I was like, "Call me 5'10" one more time. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you."
Like that's the most offensive thing you could have ever heard.
Super offensive. It's like I've corrected you like 6 times. Knock it off, Vanessa.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
All right, ready?
No. Okay, let's do this.
Or you go first.
No, are we doing it like person by person, or are we doing it at the same time?
Yeah, you go first. That way you can separate the cameras when you edit.
I can edit both.
Just take your mask off.
Okay. Count me down.
3, 2, 1. There she is.
Here I am.
I already knew what you looked like.
You knew what I looked like.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. It's a fun person. Don't look at me.
You're being weird. I'm just going to take mine off.
Yay! We did it.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
Oh, no, literally, I'm blacked out right now.
Why?
I don't know. My heart's going a billion miles an hour. I don't know what to do with my hair. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I've been hiding behind this mask, and now I don't have it.
Yeah, it's kind of like removing like a safety blanket that you thought would be there.
Here, do you want to stand up so everyone can see how tall you are?
Nope.
Come here.
No, you're wearing boots. I'm not standing up.
Look how tall you are.
I'm taller than you.
Oh, look.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Get me down. Look how cute you are. He's like, I hate everything about this.
All right.
We did it.
Sweating extra today. That's why I didn't wear gray. There you go.
How do you feel? Oh, I can see.
Honestly, it's a lot cooler in this room than I thought. It was always been hot in here, and now I'm realizing how much it was the mask.
Yes. My
So,
mask is like insulated.
Exactly. Your mask is insulated. And I'm surprised you didn't ever get makeup on yours. We have one mask that my wife wears, and it is like brown on the caked on brown on the inside from all her makeup. I can tell when she's been wearing my mask around the house when I'm gone.
You sneaky.
All right. So now that we're here, so we promised that we'd open up about some things we haven't talked about before.
Yeah, you guys want to get to know us a little bit more.
And so the first thing, Layla knows something about me that I don't talk about I don't talk about that often. My family actually, oddly enough, my family does know this, but there's some parts of this.
I thought you were about to say they don't know. I was like, Jesus.
No, they know.
We're learning a lot today.
They know, but there's some things there's some parts of it they don't know.
Okay, I'm excited. Wait, tell the audience what you're going to talk about.
Okay, so the reason why this came up was because we have some friends that are not planning on having kids.
Mhm.
And so what they've been women, right? So women, and they have been donating their eggs. And they're getting like, man, they're getting so much money for this. I wish I was a woman.
How much money?
I heard they're getting like 30 grand.
Per egg?
Not per egg, no, like per donation cycle, right?
Oh, okay.
But they're young, so they're in their like early 20s. They know they're not gonna have kids. And sometimes they're getting up to like 30 eggs out of these girls, right? It's kind of wild, right? And so you donate eggs 3 times, that's $90,000.
But then you can have a bunch of little yous and then you'll never get to meet them.
For sure, but if you don't think about that part, but you're donating it to one family. So, I mean, how many kids is that family going to have? Like, even if they Brady bunch it, like 6 kids. But like most families are going to have like 1 or 2.
Okay.
Right? But they're getting these donations, right? And then I found out that some guy friends, there's a service in LA. I'm going to think of the name. Man, if there's a referral code for that, I'm going to find out. but they were getting offered 20 grand for their sperm.
For just like one ejaculate sperm?
No, it's not like that. It's like you have to donate the amount required,
Okay.
but it was like what's happening is like all this data about like women that are working longer, not getting into a relationship, want to have kids but can't find partnership.
Mhm.
So they're deciding to have kids on their own.
Mhm.
And when you're in that position, you still need sperm. Like you don't need a husband, but you need cells
Mhm.
from testicles, right? And if you're gonna do that, you want to be a little picky about what the supply is coming from. And so if you're like a specimen, right? If you're like 6 feet plus tall and educated with a good smile, like there are certain people like because I think women look, I don't know this because I haven't gone to the bank, but I'm guessing you walk in as a woman
Mhm.
and you say, like, I'm looking for someone who's like well educated, that's this height,
You
that's
know that
what
TikTok? I'm looking for a man in finance.
exactly. So listen, you actually could have 6'2" or 6'4" in finance
Mhm.
as long as his sperm's at the sperm bank.
There we go.
But it'll cost you
How much?
enough to keep him in finance. But
Nice.
I think it's like, I mean, if I'm getting 20 grand, I mean, you've got to be paying like,
Yeah,
you know,
pretty penny.
a pretty
Well, at
penny.
that rate, can't you just find someone out in the wild?
I think you could. And so that's where this came up because
Is that
what
how you did it?
most people don't know that I donated my sperm
Right.
to a couple that I knew though.
Mhm.
I knew them. So like, here's a story, man. They were it was a girl I did CrossFit with way back in the day.
Mhm.
Right. So I used to be more athletic people and I did CrossFit shut up. And this girl,
Ooh.
she was just a good friend. She's also mixed. She's like half white, half black. And so one day, this was like 3 or 4 years ago now at this point, I got a Facebook message, right? This is how long it was. People were still using Facebook. And so I got a Facebook message and I thought it was spam. I thought it was spam because the message was like, "Hey Brian, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I'm really curious. Like, would you be willing to donate your sperm?" Right? And so it sounds like what a
Right.
king of Nigeria would do to try to get you to send him
Wait,
a
she
money
didn't have
order.
any like fluff. She was just straight up, haven't talked to you in a while and want your sperm?
I will find the message on Facebook. I'll
Please.
log in, screenshot it, so y'all can see that it was a really weird message. This is before ChatGPT, so there was nothing to like help her massage it or make it better. And so I got the message, and then I texted her because I had her number, and I was like, "Hey, I got this weird message from someone who I think your Facebook got hacked." And she was like, "No, no, no, that is actually me. I am, me and my wife." So that's the part my family didn't know. I don't think they knew the couple was a lesbian couple.
Do they don't know now?
I mean, they just found out. I'll tell them before this episode airs.
Oh
But they
shit.
knew that I donated to a couple that needed some help. They didn't know why they needed help.
Oh wow. Does your family just like not ask you questions?
Because like I've just gotten pretty good at not telling my family the parts that I know is gonna upset them. I think like me donating sperm was it was like an emotional decision for me to make to help out these friends. It wasn't about the money. The number one question I always get is like, how much did they pay me?
Mhm.
And it wasn't about the money. It was like, hey, I got to help this. I felt honored that they asked me.
Yeah,
But I didn't. I told my family the parts that I needed to tell them.
got it.
Yeah,
So how much money did you make?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't like. They didn't.
Did they pay you?
Nothing. They paid for all the costs.
Yeah.
Like my flights to go out there because he lived in the Bay Area.
Okay.
The process is actually kind of crazy. It's like everything, all the money that went into the process, though, they covered,
Okay.
and it was a lot
So you
more than
truly
you
did it
think.
out of the kindness of your heart.
I did it because she was a friend, right? It's like if your sister asked you for
But this girl
eggs,
wasn't your
would
sister.
you?
She was a girl from CrossFit.
That's why everyone like, guys, I just did it. Look, I know it's a capitalist society. I wasn't about to charge them.
It sounds like I'm being aggressive. I just haven't vaped in 3 days, so I sound angry. I'm not. I'm just you just did it for some family that needed it. Did it take much thought? Did you have to be like, "Oh, let me think about it," and it took you a while to come to the conclusion that it was something you were willing to do, or was it like right off the bat, absolutely, how can I help?
I thought about it. The reason why I was more open to it than you would think is for two reasons. So I worked at Airbnb
Mhm.
before I moved to LA, and there was I known some other executives there that had done the same thing for people. And
Mm.
so I'd had these mentors that had done similar things. So when it came to me, I was like, "Oh, here's my opportunity to do what I saw that person do." And so I think that's part of why I was open to it. I also just felt kind of honored. Like you don't. Like if you go to a bank, you want to look through the portfolio and get the best one you can. So the fact that she reached out to me was kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, so I thought about it, but the process is way more. Um, when you do it through like an official organization, the group they went through, there was way more involved in it than you would think. It wasn't just like, okay, cool, you're in, great, handshake. I'm
Mhm.
gonna send you a kit. If it's a family member, you could probably do it that way. Like send me a package,
Mhm.
jerk off in a cup, next day mail
I
it
mean,
to
I
New
don't think you would
York.
give your sperm to a family member.
I went, but I know people who have, and that's how it
Wait.
went. So what is it? There's like a fraternity of people who have done this, and I've started to meet people, and like in some cases, it was like my sister needs it for her situation, so
Wait,
I'm
isn't that
gonna.
incest?
No, you don't put it in your sibling. Like if your sibling is married to a woman, it
I understand. I understand. Holy fuck. Okay. I'm still on the incest shit from the last episodes that we
yeah
did.
yeah
And I'm
yeah
just
yeah.
like,
No,
why
that's
does this keep
not.
happening to me? Okay. Sorry. Go on.
So yeah, if you wanted it, if you could get it from a sibling, you probably would.
No,
Like you'd
that's
probably get
really
eggs
cute
from your
then.
sister,
Got that.
right?
Got it.
But no, yeah, you need a. So look, the whole process. I needed first. It was like we had to agree on it, and then I had to go to therapy. They assigned me a marriage and family therapist, and so I did a therapy session by myself, and then I did a therapy session with the girlfriend I had at the time to make sure we were living together, and the therapist was basically saying like if you think you're going to see a future with this person, then you need to bring them in. What's so funny is that doing that therapy session with them made me realize they were not going to be there in the future. And then we had to do group therapy with the couple, two therapy sessions to make like the therapist was assessing whether they thought we'd be able to do this as a unit.
Yeah.
And I learned a ton from the therapy session. What I learned, my main takeaways were things like one, I need to tell my family and make sure my family's involved. So I talk to my siblings, I talk to my mom about it because the reality is with like 23andMe and Ancestry.com, people are finding this stuff out. And when they find out you've been lying to them or not telling them that they had a nephew or a niece, like blood nephew or niece,
Mhm.
they're getting really pissed off about it.
Mhm.
Okay, so that was part of it. The other thing I learned was they were asking like, "Hey, if you ever had children, how would you handle it, and when would you tell your kids that they have biological siblings?"
Mm.
And apparently, most people get the answer wrong. When would you tell your kids?
I would probably tell like, if they had biological brother and sister elsewhere, I probably wouldn't tell them until they were teenagers.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. She said the common answer is usually like 11 plus years old,
Mhm.
right?
That's
Way wrong answer.
was I right?
No, you're
Damn
way
it.
wrong. No,
I
that's
was
what I'm
way wrong?
saying. Wait, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, okay, I'll tell them when they're like 7 or 8, and I was still way too late. The therapist basically said, if you're gonna do this, you get to tell your kids that they have a biological brother or sister out there from the time they're born.
Why?
Because they can understand it way sooner than you think they
Man, I thought
can.
I won therapy with that answer. Okay.
Huh?
I thought I was gonna win
You thought you were gonna
therapy.
win therapy game? No, they
Yes.
said the kids can understand it way sooner than you think.
Well, not that I don't think they'd understand it, but I think that my kids in particular would be like, "Where are they? Why can't I?" And
Okay,
like,
there's that part. Like they can't meet them yet for sure until they
that would
want to
kill
because
my
they're not.
kids.
But the opposite will also kill them. If you don't tell them till they're 11 or 12, then
Oh,
you have
that's
this
true.
secret you've been holding on their entire life. And now, like, can I trust mom or dad starts to creep in on them.
No, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. So then what? So you told your parents they were like, were they not
My
happy at
parents
first?
were down actually. They were my mom. Well, my mom at least was the one I was concerned about. She's like, okay, I'm gonna have a grandchild that I've never met. So fast forward now, I have a kid,
Mhm.
lives in the Bay. Never met him, but I do get pictures of him occasionally, which is kind of cool.
How old is he?
He's probably like 2.5, 3 now.
Do you want to meet him?
At some point, it's not like I want to meet him. At some point, if he wants to meet, we'll meet, and at
Mhm.
that point, I'll probably assume like a mentor mentee type relationship with him. I'm not gonna. He has two parents, right? He's
Mhm.
fine. He has two parents. He has grandparents. People always ask too, like, what if something happens to them? Will you take the kid? I'm like, no. He has grandparents and uncles and aunts.
Right.
Like, they're not gonna rip him. There's no chance
Right.
that's gonna happen. Um, but the wildest thing about it is, the debate of nurture versus nature,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And like, are you like this because it's just in your blood? Or are you like this because you learned this from your dad, right?
Mhm.
it has been eye-opening how much stuff is nature.
Really? Does he have a lot of your
He
behaviors?
has a lot of behavior.
Like what?
So
Is he
they
all like, I'll circle
so
back? Does
so
he
no, so this is
rage?
no, he doesn't. He doesn't say, that's so funny.
He's all like and
He
subscribe.
doesn't say that. So he says like and subscribe all the time. So like
Try
and
something or
subscribe
someone
people. He so he so when they had him, so here's one of the benefits. Like had they gone to a bank, they wouldn't have had contact with whoever the dad was, right?
Mhm.
Because they came to me, they had my number. And so when he was born and he was struggling to sleep, they would message me and they say, "Hey, listen, what did your mom do for you as a kid to help you go to sleep?" And I just said, well, my mom would either put like, they were really religious. They'd put on like biblical stories or music. Either way, they would have me listen to stuff to go to sleep, which I still do today. And so they started playing music, and the kid just like knocked out and went to bed and goes to bed every night. He plays music now. He's incredibly musical, like I am. Um, they gave him a soccer ball once, and he just like killed it, like crushed it. So he's like athletic. So there's just certain things that those are just kind of these examples where they've hit me up and they've been like, "Hey, did your mom used to do this, or did you do this as a kid?" Because he's not seeing it from anywhere else, but he's just doing it. So
Does
that is
that like
kind of
pull at your
that's kind of
heartstrings?
no, no.
No?
I mean, look, I think he's gonna
I'm
end up
like
being
trying not to
I
cry.
think he's gonna end up being a great kid. He's got a great set of parents. So shout out to them. I'm not gonna say their names. We got a great set of parents. They're doing their second one now, still from my batch. So they're pregnant with a girl right now,
My
which is
gosh.
which is kind of cool. So then like it is kind of this cool thing too, where like you know, I don't have children, right? And
Dang.
but it's kind of like this hack to like kind of see what your kids are gonna look like before you
Right?
have them, because
Right?
otherwise they come out and if you don't like what you got, you're still stuck with them, right? Like some people do have ugly kids, you know this,
Yeah.
you
It's
know it's a
devastating.
thing, you know it's a thing.
But does
Um,
that get do you feel like a paternal instinct like with everything that that all is? I
No, I
mean,
feel really proud of the fact that I did it. And this I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife right now, because when I at one point I was like, man, I was feeling some kind of responsibility to be somewhat involved in their lives because they're genetically my children.
mm,
Uh, but she was like, you know, if you want to make a difference for children, you actually do have nieces and nephews that like live right down the street in LA. And that
mm,
was a really cool challenge from my wife, because then I was like, you know what, let me get more involved with the kids in my
yeah.
in my actual family. And we've gotten to a point where like now when we come into the house, they like know us and they run up and jump on us and give us hugs. And so being a surrogate dad actually made me a better uncle,
That's really sweet. I
I think.
like that. And I like that your wife kind of like came
Yeah.
up with that and be like, okay, let's channel this in the direction that's more realistic for everybody,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. But on Patreon, so we will record this afterwards. I do want to tell the story of the actual donation process, because that is awkward as fuck. It is one of the most awkward things I've ever done in my life. And I just know if we talk about it right now, YouTube and Insta will take it down. So we'll talk about it after this. We'll record it and then we'll put it out there separately.
Okay, so you want to record right now?
We'll record it after this. Yeah,
After this.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right after this. Um, yeah. So there you go.
That's really cool. When is baby girl due?
No idea. I mean, they're probably like 3 months now,
Okay,
three and
cool.
a half months. So add 6 months from now.
That's really cool. And I
Yeah.
think that you're like a really cool person to do something like that. I think that that's really noble. And I'm just like
Yeah.
proud of you, you know?
Yeah. I feel a responsibility to like never end up living underneath like a bridge or something, you
Yeah.
know? Because I don't want them to get to like 13 and be like, where is he? And like, I'm in
Mm-hmm.
prison, you know? I
Right.
don't want to be, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah. Because
So,
one day they are gonna want to know and
and they're
they're
going
gonna
to
be
find
able
the
to say
podcast.
he's
They're going to find
right.
the podcast and be like, this is who you chose. All right. Cool. Thanks, mom. And mom.
And mom, thank you for sharing
Thanks, mom.
that.
And mom. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know much about that. I
Yeah.
knew of it the child, but I didn't know about
Yeah.
any of that.
So we'll update it. Well, I'll let people know when I have my second. I don't know what to call them. Like I don't know, like
Your
surrogate child.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Pumped about it.
No.
But then next episode, we're gonna get into some stuff about you
Yeah.
that people don't know. They've heard it, but like just a deeper dive into where exactly it's coming from.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Before we go today, and let go of this 2-part episode. Rants. We started off.
Okay, I have one ready already.
You already have a rant ready?
Because I drove here and that's what my rant is
Let me
about.
see if there's anything else I want to cover.
I gotta step forward.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, and go.
Okay, I'm gonna get off for a minute and talk about how when I'm letting someone merge into my lane, if they don't wave thank you, I want to light their car on fucking fire. I think it takes what, 2 seconds to like put your hand up. And I'm from the South. I'm from Georgia, where anytime you pass anyone in the neighborhood, someone lets you merge, someone like lets you go by, you're always like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like your arm is sore from just like thanking everybody all fucking day. And so now living in California, I'm on the 101. It's an absolute fucking nightmare. No one's letting me merge. And I'm like, why? It takes 2 seconds. You're still going to get to your destination at the exact same time, except for now I'm frustrated. It's so rude and it's so inconsiderate. And I always stop. I will always stop to let somebody go in front of me because I'm so nice and precious. And if they don't give me the thank you, oh, the things I would do to go back in time and to rail them into the wall. Also with motorcyclists, if I'm in the HOV lane and I turn to the left so they can, and they can pass me, if they don't give me the 2 little fingers that make me wet as fuck, I'm gonna fucking hit him with my car. I'm done.
That's time. You know what? I'll say this about the motorcyclists. That does annoy me too. That's a California thing, by the way, where they're allowed to split the lanes.
I know.
Motorcyclists, if we move over for you, say thank you. Because we could have just stayed in the lane and made it hard for you and we did it.
Right.
Jerks.
Yeah, I want those 2 little fingers. If I see those 2 little fingers, I'm like, put those
A wave or
me.
something, or a nod, or like flash your brakes.
Yeah, it's hot.
I don't know.
Hot.
Yeah, it makes us want to catch up to you and like, give you a Flint's mint.
That felt good to get off.
All right, good.
All right, you ready to get off?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to time you.
Okay, you're going to time me?
Yeah, because yours last week when I was editing, it was over a minute, you little fucker.
Yeah, you got to time me.
I know.
Okay. Wait, do this one, this one, or this one? Okay,
as
I got
as you
this.
start talking, I'll do it.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Listen, we all love a good group chat. I'm on hella WhatsApp groups, things like that. I have a great friend group that's on iMessage. Love you all. Here's the thing though. When someone invites you to an event in a group chat, if you can't make it, you don't have to tell everybody you can't make it. You can just not respond. The people who can make it are gonna say, I'm in. It's like, don't just say, like, because right now what happens is people say they can't make it and then you say why. Oh, I'm sorry, I'd love to be there, but I gotta go to my grandma's funeral. And you just like make it about you in that moment. I'm just letting you know this. It is okay to just say nothing at all. It's a group chat. They're annoying as fuck already. And we have to turn the notifications off every time you want to let everybody know you can't make it. Because you know what happens? Then all the other people who want to say they can't make it, they start doing the same thing. So from here on out, just say nothing.
That was good. You had 10 seconds to spare. You got off in 50 seconds.
I was, you
were ready.
That was
ready to
fresh.
pop.
That was fresh to me. I love my friends. They're gonna hate that we say that, but you know what you're in some of these chats
I know
too.
exactly what you're talking about.
All right, let me close out and then we're gonna do this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for having some fun with us today. There's way more exciting content coming up now that the masks are off. Until we see you next time, make sure you like and subscribe. And until we see you, try something or try someone new.